Welcome to this week's Walker Talks. This is number 6. That's a lot. That's 6 weeks. I've been doing this for 1 month and 2 weeks.
Very nice, babe.
It's my math is getting better with school every day. So starting out, first things first, it's Mother's Day. And we love our mothers.
Yes, we do.
Brooklyn and I are both amazingly blessed to have mothers who love us and who care about us and who think about us often and took very good care of us when we were kids. Instilled in us things and life lessons that we will always remember, and good life lessons, not bad things either, because that's not good. Being a mother is something that is just underappreciated in today's society, I think, personally. I think that motherhood has been transformed into either, especially like a social media view of motherhood, is either it is the worst thing in the whole world because it's exhausting and this stuff, or it's some sort of hyper glamorous Instagram perfect mother parent. And I just think that both of those are just not quite right. It's a very much more middle ground in my mind of mothers are warriors who go through things and sacrifice so much, and it's hard, but it's wonderful, and it's stinky because of baby poops, but it's also the most exciting and joyous thing. And I don't know this. This is me philosophizing yet. I don't. Well, I won't be a mother. Brooklyn will soon. But we love mothers and reaching out and understanding how much of you wouldn't exist if you didn't have a mom that taught you certain things or that invested so much time into you. So thanks, Mom. And Brooklyn's mom. Moving on from that, though, this week in the Something I Learned section of the outline, I finally have something that I learned and I remembered, and it was important to me. And, well, maybe not like super important, but this is it. A fun fact. Maybe we should turn these into fun facts. Something I learned, fun facts, is that Nintendo, the Japanese gaming company that all of you know about, they in the early days of game console systems, so like especially with Atari and Sega and some of those other systems, Nintendo was so popular that everyone referred to any kind of game console as a Nintendo. I'm going to go play Nintendo was the same thing as saying I'm going to go play my video games. So people, parents would say that, kids would say that, and it was getting to the point that Nintendo actually ran a campaign to promote the phrase and the term game console so that they wouldn't end up having copyright issues with the word Nintendo. Because if Nintendo got to the point where it was such a colloquialism that it was synonymous with a game console, then they would have issues because people could start calling their systems Nintendo using certain like laws like that. That's what I learned. It might not be 100% accurate, but it's at least a little bit accurate. And so I just thought that was really interesting. That's it.
That is a cool fact.
Thanks. That's what I need. A little bit of validation. So this week, what have we done this week, Boogie? Boogie is Brooklyn's name, if anyone's listening to this and doesn't know that that's her name.
Boog and Boog. We went to the beach yesterday. So we went to Santa Monica to look at some camping stuff at REI. And then we went to the beach, and it was really fun. We didn't actually go in the water because it's freezing, but we just sat on the sand and talked and just kind of chilled. Matt meditated for a second.
I meditated, but I was standing up.
Which is still meditation.
Yeah. It just felt so good to be outside in the sun at the beach, smelling the smells and feeling the water. And Brooklyn said we didn't go into the water, but technically
our toes were in
I
the water.
stood in the water. We did not swim, but I was standing in it. But it was really nice. We got to look at birds, and we were digging through the sand, making little sand castles.
Yeah.
And then this like creepy bug thing like burrowed into the sand.
Yeah, it freaked me out. I think it's a sand crab, but I don't actually know what those look like.
Yeah, we don't actually know it was, and then we found a couple
white
of them.
Bug.
And yeah, or crab or whatever it is.
Clear.
But we found a couple of them and we started like playing with them a little bit, where you'd poke them a little and then they'd go and burrow into the sand. Anyway, it was pretty fun. And then this weekend also, we went to the Muths again, which we talked about last week, playing games with them. But we went over there because Christine Muth is a mechanical engineer, and she has a 3D printer, and she was showing us some things in the Autodesk software Fusion 360, which is like a machining modeling software. So not only does it model, but you can make it so that when you drill a hole in something, it's not just telling the program that, oh, there's now a hole here, but it also maps out that it will drill that in a machining machine, which is kind of interesting because there are a lot of different types of modeling programs that Autodesk makes, like Maya. They make AutoCAD is another modeling program, a lot of different things, but it's interesting that so many of them have very specific audiences and very specific purposes. But it was fun.
Mm-hmm. It was fun.
Yeah.
I took a single class in modeling at BYU, just in Maya, and I basically remembered nothing. So it didn't really help me, but it was cool. It is really cool to see what you can do with the tools and that it will print out for you. It's just amazing to me that we can, someday we're going to like 3D print our houses or something. Like, I printed my house over the weekend,
Yeah.
I don't know.
That actually exists. You know that, right?
It does?
3D printing houses. They do it
like
with
full-on houses.
Concrete, yeah. They 3D print concrete.
Yeah, it's a little different though, right?
Well, I mean, it's not plastic, but but they use like the same concept. They put up a thing and it has the boom and it 3D prints a house. I'll pull up a video. Oh. If anyone's interested in that.
This is something I learned this week.
3D printing with concrete houses is really cool. I would not really want to live in those houses, so we'll let the technology get a little farther, but it is pretty cool. So that's fun. We're probably going to download it and play around with it and maybe 3D print like a pen holder or something, because she also has a 3D printer, and I think I said that. It's fun. So now baby update. is we have a little ninja in Brooklyn's belly.
She kicks a lot. And every once in a while it like actually kind of hurts, which I don't know if that's normal, but
I mean,
pretty active.
I don't like being kicked.
Yeah.
It hurts when I get kicked.
It's weird being kicked from the inside. Yeah. It's not something you ever feel before.
I hope I never feel that personally.
I know. Oh, hopefully not.
Yeah.
You never know.
That's pretty much it. She's been pretty active.
Yeah, which is a good sign.
Little Delphinia.
Just keep trying.
One day I'll get the name and it will stick, but not yet.
Delphinia.
So moving on to things, our opinions on things. We need to come up with better titles for each of these sections. So it isn't just like, oh, here's our opinion on stuff. It'd be like, I don't know. If anyone has suggestions, comment on the video or send us a text. It would help us out. So first thing, we need to make an update on 2 weeks ago, we cooked a pumpkin pie and hadn't eaten it yet. And we didn't say about how good that pie was, I don't think. Did we?
No,
okay, I don't think we did. If we did, that's right. It was delicious.
We could say it twice.
Yeah. It was a delicious pie. It was so good. It was like there was cream cheese in the pumpkin like filling and stuff, and so it kind of almost was like a light pumpkin cheesecake, or like heavy pumpkin and light cheese in the cheesecake.
Mhm.
I don't know. It was really tasty. We just
So
gnawed on
good.
it for a week.
Yeah, so good that we made it twice.
Yeah.
It's cooling in our fridge right now.
Leading into, we had so much leftover pumpkin from our giant can of pumpkin because we didn't end up making the recipe that we were going to make that we made another pumpkin pie. So hopefully it's delicious. We probably won't update you on this because we'll forget, but we think it'll be pretty good. Next, Brooklyn's got some opinions about Todoist.
Todoist. So I talked about this last week, right?
Yes.
And I hadn't really tried it yet. I just downloaded it and like kind of saw how it worked, but I really like it so far. So I didn't pay for like the notifications and other other features that it offers. You just have to like pay a monthly subscription or something. But it's working for me so far. One thing that I have noticed though is that it makes me focus on just a bunch of stuff. It's like, oh, I need to get this done. I need to get this done. And so I end up getting a lot of stuff done. But at the end of the day, it's like, I didn't do any like artwork. I mean, besides work. I obviously still get work done.
Yeah.
But I don't do any like side art projects. And so I've tried to shift how I use Todoist to support what I want to achieve ultimately. Because I don't want to like go through the years and be like, oh, I got a bunch of stuff done, but nothing that I really care about.
Yeah. So I think that this is interesting because it's such like Brooklyn's opinion on this is really pointed towards art because that's what she does. But
I mean, that could be anything though, whatever you do.
Right. So just making sure to make, if you do use Todoist, making sure that you're using it to achieve goals, not just get little tasks done.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, if you want to use it for that too, I guess it works. Yeah. But there are pros and cons.
Yeah.
The next thing we're going to talk about... Oh, wait. But what?
Oh, nothing.
Okay. Next thing we're going to talk about is Instagram. So they changed up... There was like a new update this week.
Right. I think it's a test, but I'm assuming they're going to keep it. They say they're just testing out this new hiding the likes thing. And maybe you guys have heard about it. So basically, you can't see how many likes other people's posts have. You can only see how many likes your post gets. And so I'm like simultaneously happy about this, but also like a little bit weirded out because that's sort of the point of Instagram, is to see where you stand and to like put yourself out there and try to promote your work. But at the same time, you can confidently share your work without worrying how many likes it's getting. And so the content may be better instead of you just like chasing likes. And so,
which is interesting. And there's been some speculation about how it's to help morale of some people, and so
especially teenagers
because specifically,
they can get really like anxious and depressed because their post isn't doing as well, and
as their friends it gets really comparative and stuff like that. So Brooklyn's initial take on it, though, is, do you like it or do you hate it?
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah, the likes.
I think I like it more than I dislike it.
Okay.
Because while I do like to see how my peers are doing and how my competition is doing, because it is about competition in the art world, it is nice to not feel that pressure. And I think ultimately it shouldn't be about how many likes you're getting because that's
not what it's
sad.
About. Right.
You can get like really anxious and
especially when you're creating content that's just like, I am doing something and I want to share this.
Right.
Whether that's going on a trip and sharing those moments with people, or if it's creating art to share with other people. There's a certain amount of feedback that you want, but at the same time,
but if you can still see the feedback,
but you should be confident with what you're doing.
Right.
It's like if you go on a trip and you liked that trip, post it.
Right.
And just don't worry about it.
Right. And so something that I think about is my personal account. I don't have very many followers on there, and I keep it very like restricted with who I let follow me, which is nice because I don't worry about it. It's like, this is what I did. It's sort of just like a visual journal. And it would be nice if my professional account could be that way too, where I don't really worry besides just making good content. And so,
Yeah.
anyways. So I don't think Instagram should be, this shallow pursuit of likes, but at the same time, if it is a professional tool, you do want to be able to compete and to get your post in front of as many eyes as possible. But there's just, I don't know.
Right.
Pros and cons.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Anyway, that's it for this week. We will catch up with everyone next week. Next week is nothing. Nothing's going on. The week after that, I keep thinking that, branding's in a couple weeks, and I keep thinking it's next week. I'm so excited for it, but not yet. So anyway, we love you all.
Love you
so much. See you later.